Good morning. This is Authorized United States Magistrate Stanley Seekford on 18C2, concurrence of 12C869. This episode is on contracted hits by the Federal Bureau of Investigations, controlled by the Hagerstown Police Department. In light of what's been going on, before, I didn't have confirmation it was hits. MD's G came to me and explained that it was because of an issue concerning a family member, is why he was contracted to kill me. What is a contracted hit? What is a hit? A hit is an action by which someone is paid to remove a problem. If you look it up in the dictionary, that's what a hit is. Now, before we moved here from West Virginia, the FBI / Dana Jornell at 1086 Skullway Road in Hedgesville, West Virginia, 25427, contracted J.W. Smith on a hit, as well as her uncle on a hit. Her uncle assaulted me, which they took and again had those hits controlled by the Berkeley County Sheriff's Department, Curtis Keller. Now, and an Adam Peck. Now, what was J.W. Smith paid? He was paid the finances to take and buy the salvage yard that his dad used to own up on Cannon Hill. That was what J.W. Smith got for torching the shed on my property to intimidate me and my client, to back off the property that I purchased off Rosetta Elshai in November the 19th of 2016. Now, another hit was with Josh DeFanco, actually two of them. One was they was going to set me up on a drug bust in Virginia. And Tila Day, a fugitive recovery agent, called me on my cell phone and informed me it was a setup. So that hit went down. Next hit. Josh DeFanco gives me a joint laced so much with fentanyl that the paper was transparent like sulfate. Now, would Josh DeFanco admit to this hit? You can ask him. Well, all was well. Things were going. Then Dana Jornell paid Bridget Cohey to hang the jury. This was after she found out that I was authorized as a U.S. magistrate. Even the magistrate that I went before on my bond gave me PR because he knew it was a false charge by Adam Peck. Another hit. Adam was paid sex from Cassidy Marie Janelle. Rosetta Elshai is the one that informed me that Dana Janelle was working for the Bureau. A human trafficker who actually pimped her son out. Her and Mike Elshai pimped out Boyd when he was 4 and 5 years old to John Alexander Ranneman, my uncle, who molested me when I was 5 years old. You know, the thing is, when a child is molested, what a lot of people do not understand is that actually messes with that child's mind for decades. They blame themselves for the longest time and feel less than others. So they always have a low self-esteem. The one lady here understands my fight on that. On the state of West Virginia paying Rosetta to lie on a piece of paper saying that she sold just a home. No, Rosetta, you sold the home on the 3rd of November. On the 19th, you sold the property. See, I was working with Potomac Edison's attorney, and they took him, basically said, you want to get the property, you go to DMV and get a bill of sale and have her sign off on that and have it notarized. Because DMV handles land transfers. It's not called yeah, we do. We got a bill of sale for that. Just come on out. Or matter of fact, just, you got back, yeah. So I gave them my information. They billed my bank account. And they mailed me a bill of sale. And I took that bill of sale, filled it out. Miss L shot, fuck Jose Solito. I need this money. And she sold the property. Then, when Cassidy found out that I bought that property, oh, she was, no, Mom, I want that piece of property so bad. So she figured, well, I'm working with the FBI and I'm intercepting his mail. So I'm going to do the same thing John Brantley did. And I'm going to use federal resources to assist state agencies and other government agencies like the Department of Highways to steal this piece of property from my daughter. And that's what created the concurrence. Now, I wasn't able to put the pieces together as hits, contracted hits on me by the FBI, until I'm not going to put their names out there, until the witnesses here came forward and the ones that was hired to do the hits here came out and told me what was paid. One was paid, which he's like, didn't you recognize the federal agent that came in a fancy suit and brought me the high-grade marijuana? Well, they got so many FBI agents, how am I supposed to recognize every one of them? I haven't seen half of them. Oh, and by the way, Roger Stevens, nice hearing from you again. You're not the fiduciary. I smoked marijuana before I was authorized as a U.S. judge, and let me tell you something, there's quite a few judges that do smoke marijuana. Richard Stevens is one of them. Bridget Cohee's another one. Matter of fact, Christopher Wilkes, when I took and told him that I was under the influence of weed and I couldn't have did that, he was like, I smoke weed all the time. And Christopher Wilkes is still on the bench from what I understand. And if you pull that their court recording, you'll probably find that one out. So you ain't the dictionary shit, Roger. But nice for the phone call. Didn't think I would figure out who you was, right? Josh, tell Roger to eat a dick. Oh, wait a minute, he probably already has. That's my cousin. And yeah, then I hear Tristan Calm on the phone talking to Dana. He's the contractor that's been contracting the hits here at 136 Broadway. Because see, you have to have a contractor. He's not an FBI agent, he's a contractor where the FBI has been contracting these hits. Why? To get me out of the way so they can keep that $9.5 million of mine in the Federal Reserve Bank. That's why. You see, in 98, I won $9.5 million. And they've actually set the interest to it in a separate account. These people say, oh, no, I got a 4.0 in forensic psychology. Mary Yeager, the chief magistrate of municipal court in the city of Martinsburg, actually has my associate's degree. That's why Officer Parks and Shelton asked when did I plan to graduate. They already knew I already graduated. It was posted on my timeline by Everest University, Corinthians Colleges. January the 10th, 2014 was when I graduated. No, I did not graduate from Phoenix because I didn't need to. I was working on my bachelor's there. But that's neither here nor there. The fact of the matter is, if I wasn't speaking the truth, they wouldn't be hiring hits to shut me up. They wouldn't care. They wouldn't have a care in the world. They wouldn't be hiring a contractor to contract hits on me like they did here at 136. Like the MP guy. They paid him high quality marijuana. The TD guy, the same thing. and some scooter parts. One of the guys, from what I understand, is Jack. Another one, boom. And the Hagerstown Police Department is working with them, like Chief Joey Piker and his wife Mary that lives on Mulberry Street, because they want to shut me up, because they're getting dividends off of that interest. And again, this ain't about me. This is about my client. I bought that piece of property off Rosetta Elshaw for her, not for myself. She legally sold it. And Dana Janelle's been hiring hits on me ever since. Dana Janelle even took and said she was going to cut me up into little pieces and make me disappear in Sleepy Creek. And this was on a recorded conversation at the dollar store in Hedgesville. However, the West Virginia State Police took and made that disappear. So my question is, Jim Justice, what is your involvement in these contracted hits on me? Patrick Morrissey, what is your involvement in these contracted hits? Joe Manchin III, what is your interest in these contracted hits? Because I already know for a fact it was all contracted hits by the FBI. Now, as far as what involvement these other individuals have, Jim Justice, prove you have no involvement in these contracted hits and show up here at 136 Broadway with my clemency and compensation like we discussed over 2 months ago on Facebook Messenger. Because this warrant ain't going away. And no, Roger, you're not the Judiciary Commission. And the Judiciary Commission, it's not the Judiciary Commission that has an issue with people smoking pot. Because there's quite a few judges that do. It's the Bureau and the federal. So you can stop those dumbass calls. And Inspector, you need to show up with the $9.5 million. Like you're supposed to do the first of this month. And transfer into my account. I've got a bank account at Patriots Bank here, which is a Federal Reserve Bank. So wiring the money from the Federal Reserve Bank in New York to the Patriots Bank would be no issues, what they told me. They said there wouldn't be no service charge. So no, I don't need no wiring fee there, Jerome Powell. You need to just go ahead and wire the money to my Patriots Bank account, which I'm sure you can access because it's a Federal Reserve Bank. And on another subject, Tristan Com, when this is all said and done, you're going to federal prison, whether you know it or not. Whether you passed a buck to MD, it doesn't matter if he's taking the wheel. You're still going down because you was the one that contracted the hits for the FBI. And I'm sure when Chief Howe finds out that the FBI has been contracting hits on me over me being authorized as a United States magistrate for my client who confirmed to her mother, my daughter don't know if I'm an authorized judge or not. She wasn't there when I was authorized. But the contracted hits actually began in West Virginia, and Dana Janelle was the one that was actually contracting them all. She contracted all kinds of hits over there. I mean, from the torching of the shed to, which J.W. Smith, I now know, was paid the finances to take and get the salvage yard there on Cannon Hill for the hit of torching the shed. Adam Peck was paid pussy from her daughter, Catherine Marie Janelle. Rosetta Elshaw was paid Valid Hayes Hose, a home, and a job. which, again, thanks to Miss Foltz for telling that she's been Rosetta Osha and Dana's been hiring hits over here. You see, loose lips sink ships, FBI. And yes, now that I can prove beyond a reasonable doubt, and I can even point out the payments by which each person was paid for hits, you got a problem. Josh DeFranco was paid pills. Go figure. Same thing for Russell Perry, who lives at 128 Reiner Lane in Hedgesville, West Virginia. Go figure. I mean, it is what it is. And like I said, Jim Justice, if you're not involved in these contract hits on me, show my clemency and compensation. And Cardinal, if you aren't involved in these contract hits on me, show up with the $1.9 million that I originally won from the West Virginia legislation for the Department of Highways hit. Yeah, the Department of Highways put a hit on me. Yeah, I'm not going to go into all the hits. There were so many of them. All these are contracted hits. They started out just to shut me up. Now, they want me dead. And that's why MD said he was going to kill me. Oh, you know. Really? And they go do this. They're using this leverage. If I was put in the same situation, I probably would do what he did. So I don't blame him. He needs to take and go against the ones that actually hired him, because they're actually not going to give him what they said. They have no intentions of it. But that's all, facts. Fact of the matter is, why is it a concurrence? Well, you see, in 2014, when they thought that they won 12C869, Mary J. Wright's estate, all the Berkeley County State Troopers, all the deputies, all the city cops, everyone that was involved in that case got indicted on federal charges. What do you think's going to happen to you all now, Hagerstown Police Department? And I can promise you, now that I can prove that it's contracted hits, Homeland Security is going to be stepping in. Now that I can prove that it's contracted hits by the FBI over my clemency and compensation and the $9.5 million they have in mind in the Federal Reserve Bank, I can promise you Homeland Security and Chief Howe is going to step in. And U.S. Marshals, if you're all not involved in these contract hits, you need to start acting on that warrant and pick up FBI agent Dana Janelle and John Brantley Wright. Well, that's all for this episode of Divorce for Grandchildren. Sorry if you don't like the truth, because it hurts. And so does love.